Hello and welcome to this series which is Leg Room and of course my life. Now we've been busy, as you can see. We have built the massive eyeball and we just need to throw it back in the corner, and then, as named by the title of this video, we are finally moving on to the Disney section of our theme park to make sure that we have actually left enough space after all of the other placing of base plates that we've done all wrapped around the outside, and then we're not too far away from linking them all together with the paths and tiles. So with that being said, let's get to it. So hopefully, as always, this one will go smoothly enough, but I think there's quite a bit to do because it's got to get all of the bits and pieces from underneath the table, pull them back out, see what is being damaged. There'll be stuff, there always is, and then start to space out the stuff that we need for a Disney display. And then from there, the rest of the space is obviously all going to be Star Wars. But the reason why we're now finally getting to this, even though this should have been done in January, is all to do with that back wall. Now, if you remember, all of this got painted. If I spin the light round, so we had brand new paint on it. So I did all of the bits and pieces, and we did the amazing orange and the yellow, and we got the orange for Hoth, and we got yellow for the Clone Wars, and we started to path it all out and everything like that. And then if you look, well, it bled. And it bled and bled and ran and ran and ran and ran every time it got cold. Oh, it just would not harden off. It would just basically not set. But now we've had a week or so of really strong warm weather. I think now I should be okay to repaint that yellow obviously, and carry on with that. But to be able to get to that bit, this table and all the other little bits and pieces are going to have to go. This is going to be part of the Disney display. The shadow box is on the chopping block at the moment, and then we can finally get tucked in to the Star Wars. So we're going to be working on this section for the next few uploads, and then we'll move back over onto here. I've got some ideas for this as well, so I'm quite eager and intrigued to just basically figure out what is going to be going on. But the first thing I want to do is get the Disney Castle out and put it side by side to the eyeball and see if it's actually worth doing a direct comparison video first, depending on how badly knackered that set is. Because if they are quite similar with regards to height, width at the bottom and the stuff at the back, I think people might be quite interested to see it. If not, then there's absolutely no point, and then we can just carry on with this video and it'll make my life a little bit easier. But I do need to get that set out regardless, and I would like to see what they look like side by side at least once. So I'm just going to put you up on the famous bit up here on the coaster, and we will just move the eyeball over. Now, I have just filmed the comparison / review of this, so this will already be live, so the unboxing and all that kind of thing. So if you want to see that set in much greater detail like any of the others, there is an unboxing playlist available. Now, I said this is going to be a little bit tricky because we just dumped all the Disney stuff down here, and some of it is damaged, which isn't a surprise, to be quite honest. It was thrown down here in a little bit of a rush / a panic / everything else. And of course, when the first thing you find is part of the Disney castle, that's never a good sign. But if I remember rightly, when this got put down, I couldn't put it down correctly because it was stuck on something, and well, the bottom ended up coming off it, didn't it? So I just need to figure out what is where, what minifigures belong to what, and the reason why this is coming out, I also have another idea with regards to how I'm going to put these on hard bases. Rather than getting another big bit of wood to fit and mess around and all that kind of thing, I have got quite a few spare Kallax inserts, which I've got 5 or 6 up here and loads of them in a different room. So I think that actually might be doable, and I could put them down. So that would be another thing that I am going to try and achieve. Now, I'm not delaying tactics, this is just that difficult to get off the floor because it is such a big base. And if I am going to commit and do a comparison video, I do not want to put it down to take it back up to put it back down again, but you can't really move these sets on carpet and it's stuck, which I've got to be so careful because I do not want to rip this apart and then spend the rest of my day fixing it, because I know what will happen. I just won't bother and it'll just be neglected again for ages. Now the base on this compared to the Lord of the Rings is about to say it's extremely weak, and that noise was it falling apart completely. So completely ripped that bit off, completely taken the shaft off, everything, because in my eyes it's not sturdy enough. I've said this all the time. This is unbelievably sturdy, this one not so much. So now I'm going to put you down there and we'll see what other damage I cause, because of course all the bits from all of the other sets, I'm not too sure why they get crushed. I think it must be the cats. They must have a little bit of fun underneath here and just basically they crush everything. So I have always had a pet hate for these elements. So that was the Barracuda Bay. It wasn't sturdy enough. Every time you breathed on it, it fell apart. And again with this one, because it's only overlapped by like a stud in places, it just doesn't like it. So either I just need to strip it down and actually recheck the base and potentially rebuild it, or what, I don't know. But this is absolutely battered to a ridiculous degree, which is not a good thing, to be honest. And it is so much bigger base than the eyeball. Now I can't really do a comparison with that because half of it's missing. So that might be put on hold. What are the pieces are? What are the pieces are down here? That's that bit. That's for it. Might be it. That might be it. We might have those two in a curve, which then it might mean it's that bit there, which looks like it is. I'm going to pin these down with more water tiles. I know what the problem is, so I just need to spend a bit of time having a bit of a play with it. Beautiful looking thing, but it's just annoying. Every time you breathe on it, it falls apart. It's not something I enjoy, having to rebuild and rebuild. And I know it's not just me. I am vicious with all my stuff because I move it all the time and we do so many comparison videos and things, but it does seem to be those elements that are just overlapped by just a couple of, I mean, they've changed their building technique now massively and it's so much more sturdy, all those bits and pieces, which is, well, it's fantastic. But if I'm going by parallel, this bit goes in there. Actually, how can I do this? Nope. Half the wall now falling down in it. Right, that bit is on. So I'm just going to reinforce all around there. Because we've got what looks like a bit that there it is, goes in there. And these bits just aren't on enough. So I just need to get some water tiles. It needs a bit of a clean as well. And then we can see what is going to happen. There's so much detail on this thing. Have I knackered it? No. No. Right. Good. Saved it. So that could have been a lot. That could have been a lot worse. So yes, you can see we've got all the bits and pieces at the bottom. It does need a bit of a clean because it's filthy. but they're, with height-wise and things, I don't think they're going to be too far. I don't think they're going to be too far off. So we'll see what we can do with this. I don't even know where that went. I think what I might end up doing is doing a comparison video at a later date, maybe. Because this one is very worse for wear, because it's been moved so many times, like the flags and things are missing off it, and it's all been put back. It's all been put back in bags and things like that, but it's just yeah, it's not great. It is a pretty cool set, and as this is actually going at the back of the display, I don't know whether to spend a little bit of time now messing around with it or not. So this wasn't what I was expecting to be doing for this right now, to be honest with you. Really, I generally thought I could just crack on and get on with it, but it's missing a stud there, so that won't. Right, that's on. There's your firework, which is that bit there. Go that way. And we've got the other firework at the back. So it does take up a fair bit of space. Obviously we've got the little flag at the top. It's not quite as tall as the eyeball, but the base on this one is, well, it's enormous. And we are missing, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue what's supposed to go where. I'm guessing that should go there, have the flags on. That one should go over here. That square should go over here, missing a few of those pieces, and then we've got that bit that goes at the end. Well, like I said, not exactly the smoothest of starts to this. Do I do a comparison video or not? How badly battered is it? Is that, oh, that's the flag. Not far off. What do I do? What do I do? I am going to turn the camera off and have a quick think. I could just leave the Disney Castle as it is right now. I just need to... I've got so many different things I can do at the moment. I just don't know if this is going to be worth all the effort and time setting up for it. Because you can see just how big both of these are. But at the same time, it might be quite interesting to see just the footprint, and people might find it helpful. I'm a sucker for this. Right, I'm going to do a quick comparison video on this with regards just for size and durability. I think that'd be a good way of approaching it because of how different the bases are on both. Keep your eyes peeled for that video as well, because it's going to be rather interesting, because this is now probably going to get absolutely smashed up. I'll find the rest of the pieces, see what I can actually repair before this video then goes live. And then the plan, because I haven't even explained what the plan is all the Disney sets that are underneath here. So we've got the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. We've got the Winnie the Pooh. This obviously isn't a Disney set, but it's going to go with it. I want to try and put those 4 sets down underneath this table and have it as its own standalone thing by using the inserts of the Kallaxes, and just get to that bit and stop. And then the next upload is going to be moving the shutter box, getting the table off, and then I have an idea for this huge cheese, and it actually involves those 2 Harry Potter tracks. There is method to the madness, because underneath it's a walking museum, but up top it still needs to look like a bit like a theme park. And rather than spending a load of money on a stand, I might be able to do that and then put something else there. So there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and I'm very much looking forward to getting it done. But I need to fix that bit first. So bear with me. I'll get this bit done, do the comparison video, and then I'll catch back up with you. Well, probably that was a massive waste of time. If you want to see a idiot versus a base plate, check out the comparison video of these two with regards to space on the base, because I, for the love of me, could not get that on the base plates properly. That was embarrassing, but it's done, it's out the way, and we can carry on. I think that's why it's so hard to move on the carpet. There must be a piece that is just sticking down ever so slightly, because you can't get the base plates underneath it. But we are going to be putting the Lord of the Rings eyeball just over here for now. And then, like I said, we will make a full-blown diorama, because we've got the Rivendell and the Shire in there. That all needs to go on base plates. We know that this is good for 2 base plates, but this is what's going to be quite interesting. Oh no, I should be able to do it. I was about to say, I think I'm going to have to carry the whole thing with the shaft over the loft hatch, but I could strip it apart, but I don't know what the best way or the easiest way of doing it is for me, because obviously it strips apart. I am going to be a pillock now, and this is full concentration because I can't miss this. So where are we? Where's my foot? There. That's the ceiling. Right, so you can see the difference in sturdiness just for those two just there, and it fits. Oh, it fits. Fantastic. How far over can we go? About there, realistically. Right, so that'll be messed around and played with. But that looks incredible. Incredible. Now, I do need to move this back like it was. So not that. So that's at its angle. And we're going to be messing around with the top on a different video. So hopefully now the eyeball should be seen through the marble bit. Now obviously I can't go any further left, but I could go a little bit to the right. But I'm tempted when it's time to just cover where it's white in black and just have the whole base as lava going into water. So it will then come down to this. And I think I'm going to keep it facing forward. I could have it angled maybe, but no, I think I think I have it facing forward. The minifigures are attached to it. It's going to be fun to try and move that again without breaking my neck. But let's take a little bit of a step back and a crawl underneath. Oh, you can see it, so you should be able to, yeah, see that straight through. So I'm not going to put anything on top of that, so you can see it from that side as well. So that is not too bad. Plenty of light down there, and jobs are good. Right, so that's one thing achieved. We did a thing in this video, which is nothing to do with the name of the title of this video. So all I want to do now, is I know this has been going on far too long already, is I need to pull those out, and I just need to put them back in. I'm not going to move any of the boxes, all the rubbish, and I say rubbish, it's not rubbish, it's just basically a couple of boxes, lots of bags of minifigures and things. They all need to be pulled out to be put back down again, because it's our Star Wars bits and pieces and things like that. So all of that will just basically be done at the same time. The one thing that is coming out and not going back in yet is the huge turbine fan. I don't know where that's going to go. That might be on the chopping block for now, but like I said, all of these have to come up for them to go back down again. So we are focusing on Disney for now. we will figure out the other pieces. Now, obviously, I'm not going to put any base plates down, so I know, I've got to take them all back up again later. But I just want to see if this will work, rather than getting all the timber cut and making a massive mess and everything else, because I have got a couple of spare Kallax inserts. I probably haven't got enough to go all the way around the outer edge, but we can cross that bridge when it comes. Yes, I think I've got some base plates down already, and it didn't work. So we've got just loads and loads of minifigures and things that we just need to go through in there. So there's loads of those. So I'll go through them and put them in a bag. But we haven't done anything on this at all. So this is pretty cool actually, because I kind of started to look at them yesterday and I was like, oh, I wonder if they'll be sturdy enough. It's just how much space, or how many I need, really. And I don't want to damage these any more than what they already are, because, well, it doesn't take much, especially with me, to kick the edges and they're knackered. So if we can still save them without having to rebuild absolutely everything, that would be the result. Because if you remember what would have been a month or two ago, they were where the Marvel stuff is now. Right, okay. That is part of that. That's part of nothing. Now this, annoyingly, oh, there's another Ninjago minifigure. That's the movie one, that's Coco. Like it's all going in the right, all going into the places now. But this would have been done a long time ago. It would have been one of the first things that got sorted out. And then, like I said at the start of the video, that started to misbehave. And then things like this, which was actually complete, have just been squashed. How they've been squashed, I don't know. Because it was built and it's just been put there. Nothing's been put on top of it. Side panels have fallen off. I've got gremlins up here, I reckon. I think I've got things that come up in here and just decide to cause absolute chaos. I can put some of these pieces in bags. I think most of these bits are from the sets anyway. So in that box, pumpkin's hair. So I'm going to the leg. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, because I don't know if this is going to be a temporary thing or if this is going to be a good permanent thing or what. Now obviously everything that's underneath the D&D table, that's going to be, this corner is basically now just going to be one of those where I can just get around to it and do it. Now we've got all the bits and pieces up top. Those boxes in the corner easily can come out, which is great. And that gives a little bit more space. Now, luckily the carpet isn't dirty here because I vacuumed it before I put the stuff in. Fantastic. And because I don't eat up here much apart from the odd, well, I say the odd, continuous amount of chocolate. I like that too much, so I don't make a massive mess. So crumbs and stuff aren't a problem. So we're going to go from the back of this leg backwards in a straight line, and then we're going to see where we can go, because we've got a couple of boxes that I need to go through, which is, to be honest, just instruction booklets and everything from the Winter Village sets. And I just want to go the width of the Disney Castle all the way forward, and that's the size that I'm going to give this area. And then as we come round in the next upload, we've actually got two options. Well, actually there's three. It's to do with this table, and I want to do something completely different with it because it's too crowded. There's too many big units on the same table. It looks great in person, doesn't look fantastic on camera. The dragon looks amazing on the camera though. But I think those two Harry Potter rides would work really well in the Star Wars section. And it can only go under two things. It can either go under the sail barge, or it goes under the block of cheese. So you know what we're going to be doing in the next video. I'm going to put them in both and just see exactly what we can do with them. Because underneath the table, I'm going to have it as a full-blown museum walkthrough. That's the plan. It's going to mimic the one that they got in Windsor, all the battles, loads of people and all that kind of thing. But in Disney, they've got the Falcon. Now, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with the Falcon on that because I don't think it would work. But I think with how the cheese is, because it's on two legs anyway, and it's so sturdy, it will go up on that, no problem. And it would look like it's a ride as part of a theme park, like what we've got at Disney. But then it opens up the doors to, does every single section then need some sort of ride in it? Because we've got the Ninjago with the coaster at the end. Got to figure out what we're going to do with the Statue of Liberty. There's options that we've got, and there is a small roller coaster that I don't yet own. So if that's the space coaster, does that come down on the bottom tier? And it's just a small little thing in front of something, or do we just have this as a complete walkthrough? If the cheese doesn't work on the double, and obviously then the sail barge will, and then we basically make Tatooine around the track. So just don't know which one would benefit more from being up on it. And I've got a funny feeling the sail barge has actually got a leg in the middle. So that is the next video. And then there's a video after that. And then potentially the video after that, we're going to be adding in a Speed Champions driving school, which I am quite excited about, to be honest. Right, so these are the things in question. I've got a few of these. Just want to see how far they will go. So we're going to go to there. I just don't know what we can do with it, because they can go too deep. Too deep isn't a problem, because they go from the front of that leg. So too deep of those, how many base plates is that? Have I got base plates with me? Yes, so we are looking at 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 base plates back, which is fine. I can put something towards the back of it, or we do that, which, to be honest, I think could work as well, because that's sturdy enough, because it's all going to get base plated anyway. So I could obviously meet in the middle and go like there to there. So we've got a bit of a gap in the middle. That's solid. A little bit of an overhang, which I'm not going to kick. Oh, actually, that's not bad. It's going to get tricky. It's going to get tricky when it gets to the wall, and if they're not perfect a bit. But I would imagine you could cut these, and as they're not doing anything, it's technically free timber. So yeah, we'll just try it. Because if I put 2 side by side, we know that they're 3 base plates wide. And I could potentially spread them to the wall with the little gap in between, so they would all fit anyway. Doing that, then I'd have to clear that corner out first, but this happens to be of these 4 will do the trick to start with. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that working potentially okay. So I'm just going to put the Disney stuff back down, put that back down in it, and just see what we're doing for space. That's all this one's going to be. That's all this one's going to be about. Because if space-wise, it should be fine. Because the plan is that where all of the other those big boxes are, is going to be a rather large Death Star at some point. We'll go in that corner, I think. And then it wraps around into this. So I will attack that corner in a separate upload once I'm happy with the space of these. I don't think that the Disney Castle's not going to get damaged, so that's okay. It's only a couple of sets in, so it doesn't need to be too much. But I think it'll just be a good start, I think. So as there's no base plates coming down, I think what I'll do is I'll base plate it. Once I know it's the right bit, I can take it all back out, because I know it's a tedious process, but once I know the space is right, I can take it all back out, base plate it, and when I base plate it, I can add on the next section. That's the safest way of doing it. Yeah, because I need to clear all of that and clear that first, because some of the stuff that's on the floor then needs to go into the top of the table. That's the problem I've got. So that's my excuse. I'm sticking with that excuse, and now we are going to go back down with this. Now I have tried to reinforce this a little bit. I tried because well, it's flimsy anything, isn't it? But I have tried a little bit to reinforce the base. It still needs a very, very good clean and everything else, and that we know that all happens when it's time to base plate everything. And because I don't have any of the base plates or anything here yet or anything like that, and I wouldn't know what colours to go for. I don't know whether to go for green or go for grey. And you can see I'm concentrating because I'm not saying anything. I've made a mistake. I should have gone onto my knees. There we go. Oh, that's a piece gone forever. That's the flag. Right, okay. Can I actually get the flag on it? Yes, but I can't put the flag on it until it's at the back because of how the supports are. So you're coming down to me. You can see exactly what is going to happen. Right, so that would literally go there, like that. So I'll push them together for now. So that'll get brought over to, I don't actually think it has to get brought over. I think it would just be 3 base plates in space, flag, back up to the top, so we have got space underneath that for that, which is great. Obviously with lighting and things, and second it goes on that, and it's got the correct base plates and things down, I think that'll work. I think that'll work quite nicely. So in upload time, it'll be a few uploads away from each other for this, but in real time, it'll be a good few weeks until I can get back round to this. Get that back round to this bit, but at least we're making an effort and trying. And again, I'm just throwing them in. They're not being placed like this. The one that I am interested in is the one that's about to come down now, which is the garden. So if I can get the garden nicely, then should be good with everything else. Because here, what have we got in there? It's got a couple of boxes, so they can all go. So that's all right. Indiana Jones minifigures and things like that. So yeah, it's not horrendous underneath here. It just looks a lot worse. But what I do want is I want this to come. I don't know if it's going to have the space. Because if this doesn't fit, we're going to go back to the drawing board with regards to where this is actually going to end up. If it does fit, then we might be alright. Because it's not going to go in front. I was hoping it was actually going to enclose the land off. That's what I was hoping for, and then you'll be able to see everything, but I don't know if it will. It does. It does, it does. Oh, there's another bit there. Because if these got pulled to that bit, and that was at that bit as well, so that was level with it, it does not overhang I just don't know if that works or not. I think it looks too bad. Obviously it looks worse now we've got the blue on show, so when it all gets base plated up it'll be okay. Does the Disney Castle spin? No. No, I think that's the best place for the Disney Castle. I think that's the best place for that as well. Don't know if we did step it. It was like that. And then the Disney Castle went over to the left. So that could go back there. Which doesn't look wrong, to be honest. And then we've got all this space in front. This bit then, does that bit come over to there, so it's right in the corner? Yeah. You have the Winnie the Pooh close to it there, which again doesn't look, amazingly, it doesn't actually look wrong. It's more spacious that way. It is more spacious that way. And it's its own enclosed land. So we're looking at what? 9 base plates, aren't we? 3x3. Which is the same as the double Calax, I think. Yeah, it's double. Yeah. Yeah, so we go 3x3. 1, so yeah, it should be. That's 2. Yeah, 3 wide. There, 3 and a bit deep. That doesn't look healthy at all, does it? Why does that work? Why can't I figure that out? That clearly that tree, but it doesn't go there. It doesn't go there either, but it will for now. Right, I need these bits are with that. That bit is there, so it's all down to. Oh, there's another bit of the Snow White of the actual Disney Castle, sorry. So all the pieces are here. They're just not happy. Base plate wise for the Disney Castle, I think it'd be on water coming into green. I think that'd be the best. I think that'd be the best thing to do. I think. We've got all these little all these little trees and stuff, and they're the gems that are supposed to go with this. Right, so all of that needs to be checked out and looked at a slightly later date, because they're battered. They're battered and knackered is what they are, and this one needs a massive vacuum as well. Yeah, I need a bit of a play. Need a little bit of a play, but you get the idea. With some lighting and things that brought forward once all the base plates and stuff are down. Figure out what bit's going to go where, because potentially that could come here, and we just almost want to enclose it off completely, which I don't know. Oh, we can. So we could do that. So yeah, we've got some options. I don't want to give it any more space than that, but I can't give it any less space than that either. Right, so minifigure wise, what else have we got? Little bits. So I guess I could add in, throw that bit down there. Those bits can go there. And I think I might end up just bagging all of the minifigures for the Disney stuff. Or do I? No, what I do is put all of the Disney figures on the front of the Disney castle stairs, because we're missing a couple of them because they're in separate bags. So we'll put you there so you can see them all coming in, and there is a float, but I think the float can go back away, and then we'll figure out each individual bit, I think. So they're all Disney. No, she isn't, but the rest are Disney characters. Those two are as well. That is the roof. That. So yeah, it's going to be a while until this gets base plated down, but I think that is going to be the best. I think the best thing for it. So we've got all of this to get round to eventually, and I've got to get the rest of those out, but I think they're going to go quite a long way, to be honest. So that's good, because they are deceivingly, base plate wise, they are deceivingly big. So I've got to clear that up, get that gone, and then basically I'm just going to carry on today, but with a separate upload, because that needs to go. That needs a new home. Where that's going at the moment, I'm not too sure. I'm tempted to put it at the bottom of the double calyx, just so it's safe and out of the way. And if we can't make it work in the Marvel DC thing, once everything's settled down, it will be a backdrop for me somewhere else, I think, because it's such a beautiful set that I'll end up putting it somewhere else. I know where it can go straight away, so I have got another space for it. I just want to carry it all the way down the loft ladders for no reason. So I need to move this, put the pieces in a bag, and get this gone safely out the way, and then I'll basically catch back up with you guys and girls on the next upload. But if this is what we're going to be doing underneath, getting the rest of these down, obviously from here around it's all going to be the Star Wars stuff. This box just needs to go into storage, and then all of that underneath there, well, it's all Star Wars stuff ready to be pulled out to be then put back down. I know it was all ready to go, and then that happened. So fingers crossed it won't be too bad when I take those tables away. So, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Let us know in the comment section below which area you're most looking forward to with regards to rides and paths and things going down. So we are slowly starting to get there. We've got good ideas in place for obviously the coaster and all the other little bits and pieces. That Lord of the Rings Eye does look very, very good over there. It is a big thing. And yeah, so we've got to start getting all of the lands sort of speaking to each other with all the paths and everything going down. Loads of tiles and things to order. So I think we're on the last home stretch of mess now, and then we can actually start to progress forward. So again, one more time, if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Good luck, take care, and we'll catch you next one.